The death of Tupac flipped the rap industry over on its head and got a lot of people contemplating the hidden story behind his death. Was he hit by outsiders or by his own? It took a whole 27 years to finally get the truth behind what really happened. And this time, Snoop Dogg was implicated, as many suggest that he was one of the masterminds of Tupac's murder. Here's how it all happened. Tupac was in Las Vegas, Nevada on the 7th of September 1996 to celebrate the birthday of one of his business partners. He also wanted to attend the fight between Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldon with his manager, Suge Knight. While they were at the MGM Grand Casino where the boxing match was to hold, someone from Tupac's entourage spotted a Southside Compton Crip by the name of Orlando Baby Lane Anderson. The Crip was instantly accused of approaching one of Tupac's men and trying to grab his neck chain, which had a death row record medallion on it. This was a serious allegation and led to a quick beatdown for the Crip. After the altercation, Tupac went to his hotel room to get prepped, as he and Knight were headed for the Death Row nightclub 662. They rode in black BMW 750iL sedan in a convoy. It was an eventful evening for the crew, but the night soon turned sour. At about 11 p.m. that night, the BMW was stopped by one of the Las Vegas Boulevard bicycle police because of their loud music, and they had no license plates. They quickly presented the plates, which were in the trunk of the vehicle. The police let them off without a ticket. However, 15 minutes later, a white old model Cadillac sedan with 4 doors rolled up to the BMW at the passenger side. Without any warning, a hand, wielding a firearm, came out of the window and let out a series of shots. One of the bullets pierced his right lung. Suge Knight was hit by shards on the head, leaving him with serious injuries. Suge drove Pac and himself a mile from where it all happened to a Las Vegas boulevard located on Harmon Avenue. The wounded rapper was rushed to the University Medical Center of South Nevada. He was placed under sedation and life support. On Friday, the 13th of September, Tupac died. His lung had been taken out while he was in critical condition, and he died of cardiac arrest. The doctors made attempts to resuscitate him, but they couldn't stop the bleeding. He was later pronounced dead by 4:03 p.m. that evening. Here's when Snoop Dogg comes in. Snoop had a very poor relationship with Suge Knight. Both men could not see eye to eye. Even though Suge was Snoop's manager on Death Row Records, they always had misunderstandings. This developed into a serious beef that went on for years. However, Snoop Dogg gave more insight into how he and Suge were able to settle their differences. In the interview, Snoop had to recount his last experience with the manager of Death Row Records. He said that they had a 3 to 4 hour conversation catching up on what they had missed out on and resolving their issue, and since then it's been all love. In another interview with Big Boy on the podcast Big Boy's Neighborhood, Snoop Dogg surprised everyone by giving flowers to his ex-boss, thanking him for changing his life and bringing him on board onto the Death Row platform, as that boosted his career earlier and made him a better person. Snoop explained that while he worked with Suge, it was difficult because they didn't share the same ideas, but everyone feared Suge and were bullied into doing what he wanted. He added that Tupac Shakur was the only artist who wasn't treated that way. This, of course, brought tension between the Dogg father and Tupac. Snoop further stated that the record label would have had a smoother operation if someone else was the manager. He also expressed how thankful he was for being able to settle his differences with Tupac before his death. Snoop Dogg and Tupac started as good friends emanating from the West Coast rap industry. So much so that at the 2012 Coachella Festival, the Dogg father wanted the opportunity to perform with his great friend one more time. Thanks to modern technology, the concert organizers made a hologram of Tupac performing on stage, while Snoop, dressed in his 90s old-school attire, gave a fantastic performance with the deceased rapper. One story that fans have always been eager to hear about is Snoop's last moments with Tupac, and how Snoop got to say his final farewell to the young rapper. It was a fact that Snoop Dogg did get to see Tupac one final time at the hospital before he passed. When he did see Pac, he was in a terrible state. He was unresponsive and had tubes connected to various parts of his body. During an interview with Logan Paul on his popular podcast, Impulsive, Snoop got the opportunity to finally talk about his final moments with Pac. The veteran rapper said at the time when Tupac was hit, he wasn't on good terms with him, but when he heard of the incident, he drove to Vegas to see Pac. Suge's place was on the way, so he first dropped by to see Suge first. The Death Row manager's head was wrapped in bandages, and he told Snoop how it all happened. It was Tupac's mother mother who spoke to Snoop, telling him that she was aware that both rappers weren't on good terms, and she encouraged Snoop to set aside their problems and support his friend at this critical time. She knew that they still had love for each other despite the tension. She then gave Snoop some time alone to speak to the unresponsive Tupac, but somehow, Snoop knew that this was probably the last time he was going to see or talk to his friend. In 2022, Snoop made the biggest power move of the century by purchasing Death Row Records, the label that he was once signed to. There was a lot of congratulatory messages and support from fans, who were very keen on seeing what the Dogfather was going to do next, now that he is the CEO of the notoriously famous record label. That was only the beginning of the shock, because the next thing that Snoop did was hint at a collaboration with one of Death Row's biggest rivals, Bad Boy Records. Snoop even dropped a short film along with the studio album. In the short film, the rapper legend FaceTimed Diddy, and the Bad Boy Records CEO praised him for his power move and followed with some positive words. Snoop replied, implying that Diddy had taught him how to play the chess game and not checkers. Diddy went further to refer to Snoop Dogg as, quote, one of his greatest students, and said that he couldn't wait to hear what was in store next for the future of Death Row. Snoop added that he was putting it out there, that there was much to be expected from a collaboration with both records, and it's been a long-awaited partnership. Now fans are seriously anticipating an official collaboration between both worlds, waiting with bated breath as history is made. This collaboration would no doubt heal the wounds of the past and change the narrative of two hip-hop giants that have been pit against each other for the longest of time. The East Coast and West Coast feud finally comes to an end. Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G., who lost their lives, will remain a symbol, showing where hip-hop came from, while looking forward to a better day. That's all from us. If you got some value from this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you do not miss the next video. See you in the next one!